information that you need from us so that you can walk away. So we always like to say, you have to stay ready so you do not have to get ready. Let me hear you say, I have to stay ready, so I don't have to get ready. Some of y'all were asleep. Let's try that again. I have to stay ready, so I don't have to get ready. Thank you. There you go. All right, so when I do this, guys, y'all know I'm signaling the AV. So if the slide stays on the screen, you're not paying attention. So let's say, pay attention, AV.
Pay attention, AV.
All right, so you guys have already heard our introduction, so we don't have to go through that. The one thing that I do want to say is the reason why Felicia and I are qualified to teach this and why you guys should care is because we actually work with Delta Airlines. We developed their Supplier Development Academy, and so suppliers that want to grow and scale their business, we developed an 18-month program to teach them. So we know both sides of it. The sides of what corporations want and potential suppliers, and then we know the entrepreneurship side. So we're not talking theory today. We have the bruises to prove, the hard knock life. Legit. I know some of you guys in the room are not running your business legitly, but you don't have to raise your hand because I don't want to call you out. Just wink if it's your neighbor. Just wink, wink, wink. So we want to make sure that your business is legit. So L stands for you have to learn the certifying agency. As Felicia talked, there's so many out there. Some people think that they have to be certified with all of them, which is not necessarily the case. So we're going to walk you through who the certifying agencies are. So number one, you need to learn the certifying agencies. Number two, you have to establish strong business documents. No more running your business like Pookie now, okay? No more merging your business bank account with your personal business account. You're buying the baby shoes out the business account. We're not going to do that anymore. We're going to make sure that we have strong business documents. G is you need to get your financial books in order. Some of y'all haven't filed taxes ever for your businesses. Some of y'all don't have QuickBooks, so we have a strong accounting system. She's like, preach, girl.
Yes, I am.
In my lane. So we gotta make sure you get your financial books in order. We have to institute a procurement strategy. That's simply telling you what is the procurement process that a corporation uses to buy products, or government, or even if you're working business to business where you're a subcontractor. Anybody in here a subcontractor for a larger corporation? Okay, anybody want to subcontract with a larger corporation? Everybody. So we'll talk to you about that. And then T, we have to transform your value proposition. One thing that Felicia and I always talk about is a lot of times black businesses, we get a bad rap, especially black women. We can't work together, we're very competitive, but when you know your value proposition, you're not competing now with your other small businesses, you're learning how to collaborate. Next slide. So key number one is to learn the certifying agencies. But before we learn the certifying agencies, let's talk about the certification criteria. So MBE stands for Minority Business Enterprise. And the very first thing that you have to do is you have to be a member of a minority group. Looking around the room, I think everybody in here pretty much checks the box for minority group. So that simply means that you have to be at least 25% Asian, Indian, Asian Pacific, Black, Hispanic, or Native American. Everybody in here 25%? Yeah. Shit. Number two is your ownership. You have to own at least 51% of the business. Number three is you have to be a for-profit business. So if you're not-for-profit business, you would not be going through the certification process. And number four, you have to be the sole person, or really the majority person that is running the business. So you know how you have businesses that are front, that have somebody that is the face of the business, but when you talk to them for 2 seconds, you know that they're not running the business? So that is not the case when you're certified, because a lot of the certifying agencies, they do one-site visits, which simply means that they want to come and make sure that the person that says that they own the business is involved in the day-to-day. There's a difference between the government certification and the corporate certification. Some people will get certified in corporate to be able to work in a corporation, and they will ask, can they go and use that for government? They're two different distinct certifications. A lot of the information that you're going to have to submit to both of them will be the same, but it's two distinct certifications. So the very first slide that we had, it was for corporations. Did you guys take a picture? Okay, and then the next slide was for government. So two distinct different ones. The Cage Code and the Macy's Code. So the Cage Code simply is just assigned to your business, and it's a number so that when they go, when government wants to search for provide you an overview to kind of stretch your mind so that you can know what it is that you're looking for. And afterwards, we'll be more than happy to talk with you to kind of give you some more step-by-step details. Everybody follow me so far? Let's do a check-in. How we feeling? Woo! How we feeling? Woo! Almost there. One last time. How we feeling? Woo! I just want to make sure y'all didn't get the itis after lunch. Make sure y'all stay here with me. Okay, so key number 2 is you want to establish strong documents. So, here is a quick snapshot. Get your camera out. Take your picture. And when you're doing certification, whether it's corporate or government, this is kind of a quick snapshot of what they're going to look for. The first thing that they're going to do is they're going to want to make sure that you say you are who you are. So that's going to be, of course, basic stuff. Birth certificate, driver's license, to basically declare your minority status. Number 2, they're going to want to know that you're operating a business. Not that you're just operating as yourself, but that you're a corporation, an LLC, or a partnership. That simply means that with the Secretary of State, you've taken the necessary steps to incorporate your business. Make sense? Now, the next step after you incorporate your business is you want to make sure that you have all of your business documents. How many of you guys have your articles of incorporation, your bylaws? How many of y'all thinking about getting your articles of incorporation and your bylaws?
Sounds like something I need to
Sounds like something I need to do something, take a picture and I'm going to do it. So basically what happens is oftentimes people will incorporate, but they won't have their articles of incorporation, bylaws, operating agreements, etc. When you do go for certification, you're going to want to make sure that you have these documents. It's very easy. You can actually go online, you can research, and you can, there are bylaws templates out there where you can just go and change them for your particular business. But you want to make sure you have these because they're going to ask you for it in the certification process. Your business documents. You've got to have your business license. If you're working out of your home, you have to have a homeowner's deed. If it's a home office, you have to have a lease if it's a home office. So all of these foundational things. And you see we have in there your work history, your resume. They want to make sure that you're qualified and you have the experience to do the job that you're doing in your business. And you see AR report, equipment list, etc. So if you're not tracking your sales in an accounting software, then we have to start doing that because they're going to want to have a list. Now it depends on which certifying agency you go with. Some of them don't require as much information, and then some of them are going to want everything on the list. So this is just kind of a compiled list of all of them. Your minutes meeting. A lot of you all might say, well, we don't have any minutes because it's just me. Am I going to be me with myself? Yes, you are. Yes, you will. So when she's like, well, I'm going to talk to myself, okay? So you're going to have your minutes that talk about simply, these are the officers of the company. You may be president, secretary, vice president, treasurer, your dog may be the secretary, what have you, but you're going to have it listed. Stocks. Y'all might say, I'm not a publicly traded company. Why do I have stocks? Even if it's just you with the stocks, you're going to have some stocks issued, and you'll have to show that you actually purchased the stocks. It could be you purchased it for 1 cent, but when they want certification, they want to have it. And then the last thing, of course, which we talked about, which I really want to discuss, is the financials, right? So if you are a business, if you're a C corporation, an LLC, you should be filing business tax returns. I see some of you are like, well, I'm not making any money, so what am I going to file? Even if you're not making money and the business is not profitable, you still have to file the corporate tax returns. Make sense? And then when you certify, if you haven't been in business long enough, what do you think they're going to ask you for? Say that again. What do you think they're going to ask you for? Personal. And I see some of y'all like, I don't want to do my business like that. So if you want to certify, though, you're going to have to show either your business tax returns, and then if you don't have them, you're going to have to show your personal tax returns. Make sense? So make sure you get a picture of the slide. This is just a summary, but this is going to be a bulk of the information that they're going to ask.
Inform.
Good. Now, so what's your name, sis? Me. April was like this.
I was like, oh, brother, please inform.
Okay, thank you. I just had to pause to shoot. All right. So one thing too, the reason why it's so important to establish the business credit, and you're going to hear us talk about it over and over again, is because if you have established business credit, not necessarily not the same as your personal credit, then you can apply for things to help with short-term working capital. One thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is the NOW account. Has anybody heard of the NOW account? All right, so write that down on your to-do list to look up the NOW account. So it was started probably about 4 years ago, and it was a tool or a business financing incorporation, say it with me, incorporation, business checking account, business credit card. So that's what you have to have. And then they'll look at the strength of the person that you're doing business with. So it can be a business to business, it can be business to corporation, or it can be business to government. Oftentimes, small businesses, we don't go after larger contracts because we cannot finance them. They'll be net 30 terms, net 60, net 90 days, right? Have any of you guys ever not bid on a contract because you couldn't finance it? Okay, don't leave me up here by myself, people. This is a dialogue, not a monologue. Okay, let's try it. Okay, let's try it again. Has anybody wanted to go after a contract, but they were like, I don't know how I'm gonna finance it? Okay, y'all still with me? And this works well even if you're subcontracting, meaning that you're working with another business that has a contract with Code or GSA or the government or whoever. It still works the same. As long as they're an established business and you're subcontracting, you can still submit them through the Now account. Everybody let's say Now account. Now account. I want my money. Now. See, that's why it's called Now account. All right, so key number, see, you're moving too fast. I'm sorry, I tricked you. Key number 4 is you want to institute a procurement strategy. Okay, so one thing that we want to talk to you about procurement is the way that businesses and corporations and governments procure has shifted. It used to be years ago that corporations wanted the lowest price provider. Do you all remember that? So it was whoever had the lowest price, that was who was going to get awarded the contract, right? No, now corporations and government, they've gotten greedy, okay? They want you to be the lowest price, they want you to offer the highest value, they want you to be the fastest, and they want you to be able to adjust rapidly to change, right? So let me hear you say value, speed, agility, price. One more time to make sure that y'all are awake. Value, speed, agility, and price. So if you guys want to compete with the big boys, it's no longer where you can just go in and say, hey, I'm the lowest price. Because 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be the lowest price because as a small business, you're going to have higher overhead, your suppliers are going to cost more, and so you're not going to be able to compete just on price, right? Or you may be the most innovative one where you have a solution that is going to just knock their socks off, but if you're still priced too high, then it's not going to work either. So you have to have a combination. We have an example of one of the suppliers that was in the program with Delta. They had probably the most innovative solution when it came to blankets, recyclable, etc. Their price was a little bit higher, and so even though they were offering much value, they had to come back and they had to change the pricing, and they also had to deliver quicker to market. So you see, it has to be a combination of all of them. All right, next slide. All right, and so with the procurement process, there are 3 kind of stages of how we look at it. Number 1 is you have to evaluate the bid. All money is not good money, right? So if there's a bid and you're going to lose money on the bid, should you go for that or not go for that? So you should at least break even if you're trying to say, what we like to call is I'm going to land and slide. That simply means I'm going to land on this contract and then I'm going to slide on to expand to get some more. But you still want to make sure that you're not losing money. So you got to evaluate the bid. Number 2, you have to know the RFX landscape. So RFI is a request for information. That simply, we're looking at, a company will say, I'm looking to do a bid. I'm going to put information out here. I need you guys to research and give me information on it. Request for quote simply means I know what I want. I'm going to choose based on price, so give me a quote. RFP is a request for proposal. That simply means that now you've got to go and provide a full proposal. And a single source bid simply means I know